Hello, and thank you for being here. Thank you for still being alive, and I'm glad that you are here. I know some of you have heard of Grace Revealed and what we're all about. Some of you haven't. Maybe this is new and you're desperate, you're at your wit's end. So I'm going to just give you a quick breakdown of the Burnout2Brilliance course, what is included with it, and in the whole package and in the modules themselves. So burnout, I think we get it. It is feeling depleted, kind of where I was when I was in the height of my career, had a great social life, and rapidly lost, I had a rapid decline of my health. So the movement from that place of defeat, that place of feeling lost, not knowing where to start, willing to try anything, reading a bunch of things, and finding out what really helped. And one of the biggest costs that it took for me was time. And so I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind, that this isn't a process that we can rush, but it is certainly a process that is doable for anyone who is willing to try, willing to maybe let parts of yourself be dormant or be quiet for a little while you take the time and you put forth the effort to prioritize your own well-being. And it's going to start with our minds. So module number 1 is bottom out. So in order to build a strong foundation, we have to start from the bottom. I love how my previous career in architecture just continues to reverberate into this new modeling, this new structuring of becoming well, being well, maintaining wellness, well-being. So bottom out is where I talk about a starting foundation. Maybe it's scooping out some of the old stuff, making room for a new foundation, working with the foundation that you have, but being willing to build from the bottom is what will indeed make a firm foundation no matter where you are. So that's module 1. Module 2 is called Feel Again. I think this one is good for anyone, but so I talk about feelings and being willing to feel, being able to feel. What if you can't feel? What if you feel numb? And how to start to identify feelings or enjoy identifying your feelings. Maybe you're good at it, but you need a broader range. So I talk about asking for help. I talk about trying new things, and I do my best to talk about how I had to rid myself of fear. How do we get over the fear that is holding us back from taking care of ourselves, holding us back from trying new things? Really doing my best to share with you the process so that you have tools to get rid of fear. Just kick it out of the park so that you have the best environment for success to be well. So module 2 is Feel Again. Module 3 is called Let Go Completely. So I don't know about you, but if you're anything like me, you may have some control issues. I was just an extreme control freak, and it was exhausting. Trying to run the universe, it wasn't healthy for me, and I talk about the process of letting go. One of the things I talk about is the importance of tissues, crying, letting go, being willing to rid yourself of mechanisms that are perceived as control that really are not in our control. Especially what other people think about us and what's happening around us, different things like that, that can be intoxicating and really inhibit us from living a better life. Again, throughout kind of some underlying themes throughout this whole Burnout2Brilliance course will be the process of exchanging something old for something new, trying something new. and just a reminder that it's going to be okay. I think for me, when I was in extreme burnout, it was hard for me to find anyone in the globe that spoke English that I could understand that would say, hey, Layla, you're going to be okay. So if you're really struggling right now, this is going to help you. I am sure of it because of the fact that many people that were in burnout and didn't recognize it are not here today to tell us because of heart failure, because of organs shutting down, because of hormonal issues, and just not being in the right environment to heal. So that's module 3, letting go completely. Resigning yourself from trying to run the universe or other people, and just having the right conditions to heal. Module number 4 is about finding connection. I love a lot of the materials that are available to us in this age of technology, this age of research about connecting with others. So how do we even start to practice those things? I talk about, in module 4, finding connection, talk about telling your story, that your story is so incredibly important that you may not even realize how much hearing someone else's story or having a safe space to tell your own can really begin to unravel you, set you free from anything that's trying to keep you stuck. A big part of the reason I offer live events is so that you can have a personal connection with another human being. If it's me, if it's one of the other team members, if it's one of the other participants, that it's a safe ground for you to practice healthy connection. Being heard, being known, and being understood was such a difficulty for me. So that's particularly why I love this module, to talk about being heard, being known, feeling understood by another person, where I didn't have to try as hard. It wasn't as taxing when I got to build connections with others and really be understood. And then lastly, being real with myself, coming out of some denial and learning how to be more content in my own skin. Okay, module number 5. Module number 5 is reordering priorities. So having order in our minds, in my mind, was a critical path for me. I didn't know where to start with feeling like things were firing all over, especially if you're from a high stress career, if you're being pulled on by many people, if you're in a position of much responsibility where there is so much stimulation in society today. There's so much stimulation in the home. There's so much stimulation when you're holding your phone right in front of you. So how do we put order to what needs to come first so that I could be well, so that you could be well? So I love to start with practical things. For example, making your bed, making my bed. It's consistently a game changer for me. Every time I put order to certain spaces in my dwelling place, in my place of rest, the rest of my life will fall in line. So I give you some tools for prioritizing your life and in order to do that. Again, shedding other burdens that might be weighing you down, especially that you just can't do alone. So finding support for mental, spiritual, and emotional needs. How do you go about that? What are the spiritual networks or mental support or emotional support? Besides maybe something that you're used to going to or someone you're used to going to. So I try to simplify that as we have order in our thoughts. What is the process? What did I go through that might inspire you to have a little more clarity? So that's module number 5, reordering your priorities. Module number 6 is be restored. Also, I get really excited about seeing the restoration process in other people. Because I know it's possible B, because transformation looks different for everyone. I thought I could follow ABC steps and then I would be perfect and back to normal. I didn't realize that I was going to lose everything I knew as myself and become a new creation. So, Module 6, Being Restored, talks about the mending process, talks about letting people in gradually that maybe you needed to disconnect from for a while. Boundary work. So if I'm going to say no to something, what am I saying yes to? If I'm saying yes to something, what am I saying no to? Relationally, maybe work commitments, different things that are a constant pull. But once I have that order and that structure, how am I going to exercise those healthy boundaries? And then building a new foundation once you've been able to unravel a bit and kind of build with the process of reconstruction. What does that look like? What are some practical tools for you to rebuild with? And remember that encouragement is available. I love to just encourage you to keep going. It's one of the slogans to keep going. It's a safe place to let go and heal. I just believe that there is healing available to each one of us if we just keep going. But sometimes there is incredible power in affirmation. There's incredible power in a word of encouragement like, hey, you got this. Hey, don't give up, keep going. This is available to you. There is hope. One thing I hope that I'm known for as a signature of who I am is that childlike faith, to believe for things that are just beyond my imagination sometimes, that there's healing available. And then finally in Module 6 is the power of simple truths. I love research. I love facts. The fact-finding journey has been incredible for me. To just say, you know, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the facts. I'm a statistics junkie. I like statistics. But I know that we're constantly building statistics. I'm a statistic. I'm in the minority of, hey, I wanted to be well. What can I do to change? How do I change? I'm willing, but I'm scared. So power in the simple truths for being restored, that restoration process. And finally, Module 7 is enjoying life in a childlike way. So I am not ashamed of being kind of goofy and silly. I think it is important to celebrate ourselves, celebrate each other, celebrate who we are. That's one thing I really love Facebook for, the birthday celebrations that they put out there and make available for people to be celebrated. I think for I don't know, probably 5 or 10 or 20 years, people were kind of missing each other's birthdays, and I'm just a big fan because I think celebrating each other's lives are very important. Even if it's not your birthday, let's celebrate. Again, I go into a plan for boundary practice, healthy boundaries, getting into a little bit more work with that. How can we take practical things that may be needed for you specifically to exercise? And then a plan for bumps in the road. I am amazingly shocked when I hear some people that say they're always happy or it's another day in paradise, when reality has proven to me and many other humans time and time again for centuries that we all have bad days. We all have rough patches. What do we do in those weak moments? What do you do when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? What do you do? What is your plan to keep you on the path of wellness? That I think is one of the most important strategies that help me become well, is to have a plan in the dark days, have a plan when I'm not feeling so motivated or energized or excited. Settling into serenity. What happens when you don't have so much intoxication? What if you came from a background of constant stimulation and now it's like, hey, I'm after mindfulness, I'm after peace, I'm after serenity. How do you get used to that? How are you maintaining that? And lastly, that it's okay to play. I heard this maybe a couple years ago, to just play. You know, some of the remedies for extreme stress are to just play, childlike play, and I'm like, where do I start with that? It seemed daunting to me, but it's not. And so I love to offer some examples, some things that you can do, and see what comes to you as far as learning to be comfortable in your own skin so much that you can relax, that your mind will begin to relax, your body will begin to relax, your spirit will not be so active, and you can really enjoy the present moments, enjoy the time that we have, enjoy your life today and moving forward, but really enjoying the moments that are right in front of us. And enjoy the journey. So that is a summary of Burnout to Brilliance. And again, I am just so glad that you're here. Thank you for your interest, and I look forward to hearing about your lives changing, your process, and the liberty you will experience, not just mentally and emotionally, but physically, spiritually, shedding some of those old things that try to trap us into burnout and experiencing a new and better way of life. So thanks for being here with you. Look forward to seeing you soon.